Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram with you on the cricket show, Cricket Happenings. Yes, it's been a bit delayed cricket happening show today, but I think it's going to be a show which is full of records. So, talking about records, I'll first go to the historic Ireland's test win over Afghanistan. This was a very historic beginning for Ireland. They are playing their eighth test match and they was playing against Afghanistan, and they finally registered their first ever test win after losing six test matches. But still a good record, considering that if you look at the pantheon of countries in the world which has really made a mark in world cricket, was really struggling. So definitely Ireland can definitely take a lot of heart from it, that they finally managed to eke out their first test win, and congratulations to them. The other record that happened was Namibia. I mean, the fastest T20 century was in the name of Kushal Malla of Nepal, when he did it to the Mongolians, to the team Mongolia in the Asian Games. But here he was, a Namibian, coming and shattering the T20 record of Kushal Malla. This was, I would say, more quality because Namibia were playing a very good quality side, which was Nepal, and what a knock from this batsman, Namibia's, Jan Nicole Loftie Eaton, smashing the fastest T20 100 of 33 balls. He just bettered it by one ball as far as the world record was concerned. Now, Jan Nicole Loftie Eaton of Namibia holds the record for the fastest T20 100 in men's cricket. This was scored in 33 balls, and he scored, it included 11 fours and 8 sixes. And also, they say the 92 runs that he scored was the most by a batter in T20. So definitely Namibia holding the proud record of the fastest T20 century in world cricket. And another event which came as a real surprise just on the eve of the Test series against Australia, and that was New Zealand's New Zealand's very aggressive bowler Neil Wagner announcing his retirement from international cricket. Really came as a surprise to me, because I thought he's someone who is a real character on the field, and I'm sure international cricket is going to miss a character like Neil Wagner. I'll talk about that as well, and then we go on to the New Zealand versus Australia test match, which right now, if you look at it, I think as I'm talking to you, probably in another 30 minutes' time, play will resume on the fourth day at the Basin Reserve in Wellington, where I can say Australians are in the driver's seat right now, because they have already scalped the wicket. New Zealand did a good job. Glenn Phillips actually picking up 5 wickets, and that was a very mighty achievement. And on a pitch which is really, it's going to be very difficult according to me. New Zealand need 258 runs to win the match. They have 7 second innings wickets standing. The very good Rachin Ravindra, the youngster, is looking very good at the crease. But the good news for Australia is that they have managed to prize out the valuable player in New Zealand, Kane Williamson, the player, batsman. So that will give them heart, but still 258 runs on this particular pitch, to me looks very dicey. And the reason I say that is because one is there's a lot of turn in the pitch. There is extra bounce on the pitch, and there is sideways movement. So you are basically keeping all the bowlers interested. And Nathan Lyon, with turn and bounce, he showed what he can do. And we all know what a veteran spinner he is. So now I will start getting into the details. First, I would like to go to the historic test win of Ireland, and congratulations to the Ireland cricket team for registering their first ever Test win against Afghanistan. So finally, so looking at this particular Test match, if you look at it, I thought Afghanistan were totally outplayed because Ireland totally dominated. The only place where Afghanistan, I thought that they really came back when Ireland was set a target of 111 runs to win the match, and they really stretched them by picking up 4 wickets pretty quickly. But Andy Balbirnie, with a very cool head, and the captain of the team, nurtured them towards their victory in the company of. I thought it was Harry. I'm just going to see who it was. It was Lorcan Tucker who was giving him company with a sedate knock. Okay, now looking at this particular game where Ireland registered the first ever Test victory, and what a moment for them all, for the Irish supporters at the Tolerance Oval. But very sad that this match was not played in Ireland, but it was played in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi at the Tolerance Oval. It's a solitary test, so it's all done and dusted. Afghanistan batted first, 155 on the board, a top score of 53 for Ibrahim Zadran with 9 fours, and 41 coming from Karim Janat's back, an unbeaten knock at that when the Afghanistan team was packing. They were really folding like a pack of cards. Mark Adair was an impressive bowling display. 16.5 overs, 5 innings, 39 runs on 5 wickets, and 2 wickets for Craig Young. Barry McCarthy 1, and 2 for 13 for Curtis Camp for the leggy. Ireland, in their reply, were made 263. There were some very good contributions, but none was able to really play a long innings. But in the end, that didn't really matter because even this particular lead was enough for them to go and actually fetch a victory. So Camphor made 49, Texter 32, 52 Paul Sterling contributed 52, 46 to Tucker, 38 to Andy McBride. That was pretty much the scorecard. The bowling, well, it was a 5-wicket bag for an impressive left-arm spinner, Ziaur Rahman. 30 over 7 maidens, his first fifer in Test matches. And let me see whether he was making his debut. That's what I'm trying to check here. No, Ziaur Rahman has played a Test match. So basically, Ziaur Rahman going on to pick up a fifer. So that was wonderfully done. So with this particular lead that they got, which was a very handsome lead, Afghanistan in their second dig did much better than little better than their first dig, where they made only 155. Here they were 218, and the prime scorers were the captain himself, Hasmatullah Shahidi, who made 55, and Nur Ali Zadran making 32. Raminullah Gurbaz contributed a nice 46. And Naveed Zadran towards the lower end of the order contributed 25, 218. And once again, Mark Adair was amongst the wickets. He was the man of the match for picking up a fifer in the first and a 3-wicket bag in the second innings, 3 for 56. Barry McCarthy picked up 3 wickets, and also Craig Young picked up 3 wickets. Ireland were set a target as 100, but there was a real stutter because we saw that the Afghanistan pace bowlers made rapid inroads into the Ireland batting setup, with Nijat Masood picking up 1 for 27, 2 for 31 Naveed Zadran, and 1 for 33 for the spinner Ziaur Rahman, as they reduced the Irish in their chase to 39 for 4. And after that, it required the coolness of the Irish captain, Andy Balbirnie, to give immense joy to the Irish supporters, as he was not out on 58 with 5 boundaries. As I said, Lorcan Tucker, a sedate knock of 27, 111 for 4. And that was the first ever Test win for Ireland in their entire Test history. And what a proud moment it was for Ireland. So congratulations, Ireland. And Afghanistan, I thought, could have put up a much better performance, considering that they definitely possess the talent. So, anyways, it's all over. It's a solitary test between both the teams, and now the focus will probably shift on to the T20s, in my opinion. And so that's as far. So Ireland will be quite happy with this victory. So this is also going to give a lot of encouragement to the youngsters in Ireland, and I think it probably, one can say, it is a beginning of a new Ireland era in cricket. They have really sounded it, and whether they one has to wait and watch as to how far they can go. Now, the next thing, as I said, Namibian cricketer Jan Nicole Loftie Eaton, scoring the fastest, now holds the record for the fastest T20 century in world cricket, in men's cricket, and he did it against Nepal. So definitely, it's a quality innings. Even though Kushal Malla did it against the Asian Games against Mongolia, which is not a known side, but doing it against Nepal, a very decent bowling attack. I think one has to really give credit to this particular knock. And what a moment for Namibia. A Namibian holds the world record for the fastest T20 100. And as far as T20 hundreds are concerned, the way T20s are being played all around the globe, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be any bit surprised by this, because with these heavy bats available, and T20 cricket really growing at a rapid rate, well, I can only say the T20 records, any T20 record is to be broken. So now I shift my attention on to the Neil Wagner. We are talking the Australia-New Zealand series, which I'll be talking about, but let's talk about Neil Wagner. The reason we are talking about Neil Wagner, it was a surprise announcement last week that Neil Wagner has retired from international cricket. He's a South African, born in South Africa, but played for New Zealand. His birthplace was Pretoria and Transvaal, and he's a left-arm fast-medium bowler. And let me talk about Neil Wagner. He has been my favorite because, and as I said, for cricket, it requires a lot of characters on the field. And Neil Wagner was one such character who was always gung-ho, was full of beans. And when he was actually coming into bowl, it was like really, a sort of a battle against the opposition batsman, and was a real trier. He was really on guard with the opposition batsman, and the diet that he served to the opposition batsman was the short stuff, which he was very good at. And he was relentless in that. He was not someone who is going to be probably bowling one or two bounces and stopping at it. For him, did matter. And he also used to get riled up, give a real stare to the batsman, exchange a few words. And he was, as I said, he was a great trier of the game. And he was a great character on the field. I mean, there was an aggro. I always have believed that any pacer in world cricket should have that aggro, because pacer himself is like, it's a sort of a, I mean, you can be cool, but this is my personal opinion. I feel any paceman has to have a sort of an aggro, a bit of aggro. I mean, something which is under the limits. And Neil Wagner was such a person who really used to take off. And his bowling, whenever he used to come to bowl, it was very good to see. He was, a man bowling with full determination, and he did not like anyone hitting him for a boundary or a six. He used to come back very strongly with a bouncer, and that was his forte. I mean, and he used to pick up wickets as well. And he has been involved, and also whenever he had the willow in his hand, I thought he has really played some useful knocks for New Zealand, and plays those unorthodox stroke making of his. We'll have a look at the Neil Wagner career graph here. Looking at his test, he has been predominantly playing more test matches. And if I'm looking at his profile, yes, let's have a look at his full profile here, so that I can see. Well, it looks like Neil Wagner has played only test matches, 64 test matches in all. He scored 874 runs with the bat. 66 was his highest score. And he had he hit 36 sixes. Bowling career. Now, this is the main thing that Neil Wagner was known for. 64 matches, and he picked up 260 wickets with picking up his best bowling analysis was 9 for 73 in a match, and his best bowling analysis 7 for 39. And he took 5 wickets in innings bags 9 times. So definitely, and it was a real surprise to see that Neil Wagner has only played test matches. I mean, I'm looking at the career graph here from Quick Buzz, but it says it does not show me that on his career graph there are any one-dayers or T20s. Very sort of very unusual according to me, because if I see his ODI and T20, it's showing a blank. So I mean, I'm still not able to really fathom this, but probably that was the case. But it's sad. I thought Neil Wagner could have played some one-dayers and T20. I'm sure he's played. Probably it's not reflecting, I suppose, for whatever reason. But nevertheless, a real career has ended. He was a real character for New Zealand, and definitely, I for one would miss Neil Wagner. Right on. So Neil Wagner has completed his assignments in international cricket, and he has said goodbye to international cricket. Now we are moving to the test match at Wellington, the Basin Reserve, where today on the 4th day, as I'm talking to you, probably another 13 minutes time, play will resume on the 4th day at the Basin Reserve in Wellington in New Zealand. And let's have a look at the score very quickly. Australia batted first. Now, first and foremost, I have to say it was a blunder by New Zealand that they decided not to go with a frontline spinner, instead relying on the part-time Glenn Phillips, who did a good job. But just looking at the way things have panned out in this test match and the way things are going to pan out in the 4th day, I definitely feel there was a blunder by the New Zealand cricket to have left out a quality spinner like Mitchell Santon. I always have the belief that when you're playing a test match, it's always better to have at least one frontline pacer and one frontline spinner all the time. Well, I can be proved wrong, but this is my opinion. So let's have a look at the card of the Aussies. Aussies batted first, 383 on the board, and they were really at one point of time they were really struggling. They were 176 for 6 at one stage, and this magnificent partnership which created a record where Cameron Green, after David Warner has left the scene, Cameron Green has been put on the number 4 spot, and Cameron Green really showed. I mean, it was a very difficult pitch. The ball was moving about, and it was not easy to bat on. So great credit to Cameron Green. What a knock from Cameron Green! His second century, his first in New Zealand, and what a partnership! They frustrated the Kiwis at home in front of their home supporters on the second day, with Josh Hazelwood giving great support with 22. And what a partnership that was! I mean, the partnership started at 267, and it took down to 383, just adding to the frustration of the New Zealand fielders there, New Zealand team there. But what a knock from Cameron Green. He was unconquered. Also he did a good job, showed great maturity, and also, whenever an opportunity presented itself, he was not afraid to come down the pitch and have a whack at it, to hit it for a 6. He had 5 sixes and 23 fours in an unbeaten knock of 174. He shielded Josh Hazelwood the other day from the strike by farming the strike, and finally his wicket was gone. But what a knock from Cameron. I mean, his wicket was a precious one, which was preserved, one could call, because the Aussies were bowled out for 383. Hazelwood was out for 22. Cameron Green not at 174, 23 fours and 5 sixes. and it was a 5-wicket bag for Matt Henry. Now Glenn Phillips did not even have a bowl. New Zealand innings in the first innings, replying to that, they were in all sorts of trouble. I mean, the innings was in tatters at one stage when the score read 29 for 5 with Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark all amongst the wickets, and a run out of Kane Williamson, which was a real shocker, as Kane Williamson himself was to blame as he started slow off the blocks. And by the time he was coming to non-strikers end, there was a collision between Kane Williamson and I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was Will Young, and then Mitchell Stark was also in the middle. Well, nevertheless, they bowled out for 179. It took Glenn Phillips smacking 71 of 70 with 13 boundaries to get the New Zealanders to 179. A big lead conceded there, and 42 coming from Matt Henry's bat, throwing his bat at the Aussie bowlers, which he normally does of 34 balls, 3 fours and 4 sixes in that. Nathan Lyon showing doing what was required when he got the ball to turn. 4 for 43 for him. And Australia in their second day found that going very, very difficult, as on the third day the pitch has really started turning, and it was Glenn Phillips, the part-time offie, getting his bowl for the first time in this test match in the second innings, picking up bowling analysis of 16 overs, 4 maidens, 45 runs, and his maiden 5-wicket bag in Test cricket. And on a turning pitch, Glenn Phillips showed his increasing value to the team. And that's the precise reason I said that not having Mitchell Santner in the team was a blunder by New Zealand, according to me. If you look at the Australian card there, 41 from Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon is someone who really is a lion when it comes to the bat, because he likes his batting, he loves his batting. He came as a night watchman, and he was the highest scorer with 41 of 6 boundaries. Cameron Green made 34, Head made 29, and Glenn Phillips was the hero. 5 wickets, 3 for 36 for Matt Henry, 246 for Tim Southee. And now New Zealand were given a target of they were given a target of 369 runs, and at close of play on the third day of the first test match between both the sides, New Zealand closed at 111 for 3. They were in trouble like in the first innings when 3 wickets were down for 59. Latham was out trying to hit a ball which was going away from him, was spinning away from him, and he nicked it to carry. And then we saw Kane Williamson, definitely having a real struggle against Nathan Lyon. And then one of the balls that Kane Williamson, definitely there was a trap set for Kane Williamson. They got a leg slip in, and Kane Williamson fell into the trap, caught a leg slip by Smith. A very good catch by Smith of the bowling of Head for 19. And Will Young also left, going to cut Smith bowled Head for 15 and 3 wickets down. And after that, it took Rachin Ravindra, the youngster, showing his wide array of strokes as he decided that he's going to go for the bowling. And he finished on an unbeaten 56 with 8 fours and 1 6. And Daryl Mitchell, who has been trying all possible things, trying to move out of the crease, trying to come down to Nathan Lyon. He did all that he could, but in the end, one can say it's an unconvincing 12 runs which is there. Now, looking, as I said, this pitch, it's not going to be easy. Fourth day is going to be much difficult, according to me. And the reason I say that is because all the bowlers are going to be interested. It's not only about Nathan Lyon, who would be bowling. They also have to be concerned about the sideways movement with the ball. So I think New Zealand are going to find it very difficult. My favorites here, for sure, will be the Aussies to take the first test match. But Nathan Lyon at 227 and Travis Head. And so a really game on, but a very interesting day's play coming up. Probably today would be the last day of this match, unless there's going to be some dramatic partnership for New Zealand. But New Zealand, as I said, if Kane Williamson would have been there, I probably would have said that New Zealand still had a chance. Daniel Mitchell has not looked so convincing, but if you could change it around and you could really play a game like Kane Williamson today, that would probably see New Zealand through. But I think definitely it's Aussies right there to clinch the first Test match. Well, dear fans and subscribers, with this being said, it's about time for me to pull the curtain down on this great show by bidding you all goodbye, but promising you that tomorrow on a Sunday, I'll be back with the Cricket Happening show where I'll be talking, hopefully, I'll be talking about probably an Aussie win over New Zealand or probably a New Zealand great recovery by New Zealand. So it's interesting. Well, time is at the side. New Zealand have a lot of time, but the pitch is not something which is going to hold. It is not going to be easy. It's going to be pretty difficult than even the previous 3 days. So let's wait and watch. Until then, goodbye.